CBS 17 News.
The FBI launching a federal civil rights investigation, and the governor is calling for a special prosecutor to look into the shooting of Andrew Brown.
He was killed in Elizabeth City last week by deputies serving a warrant, and tonight CBS 17 has obtained surveillance video from a nearby camera. CBS 17's Maggie Newland joining us now live with a look at that video and what it shows. Maggie.
Well, Rod, it's important to note this video does not show the shooting of Andrew Brown. That happens off camera. But it does show some of what happens before the shooting. I want to go ahead and play that video for you. Now, these are two angles of what's happening at the same time. You can see a truck here full of sheriff's deputies. They're wearing what appears to be SWAT gear, and they are going down the street here. Now, if you look, you can see that this is where the deputies are stopping. This is the area where they were serving the search warrant. You can see that they are jumping out of the truck right now. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and if we can take video full right now, you can see what happens after it. All right, you should be able to hear some audio. They're saying put your hands up. Now, it sounds like you can also hear people yelling in the background, and then the video actually freezes there. We are told by the city, who gave our sister station this video, that a loud noise actually caused the camera to glitch. The shooting happens out of view of the camera. Of course, this video you're seeing right now, it does show a very limited perspective. It's not the video, we need to make clear, that the Brown family is asking for. They're currently demanding to see all the body camera videos as well as any dash camera video of this shooting. Yesterday, lawyers from the family say they were allowed to see only 20 seconds of video from one body camera. Today, lawyers presented the findings of a private autopsy ordered by the family. They say it shows Andrew Brown was shot 4 times in the arm and once in the back of the head.
It went into the base of the neck, in the bottom of the skull, and got lodged in his brain.
And the sheriff's office said in a statement that the private autopsy is only part of the puzzle. Under North Carolina law, body cameras can only be made public by a judge. Numerous media outlets, including our company Nexstar, have gone to court to ask for access to that video of the shooting. There is a hearing scheduled for tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Meanwhile, the governor has called for a special prosecutor to handle all matters regarding the shooting. He says that would assure the community and the family that the decision on pursuing criminal charges is conducted without bias. The FBI field office in Charlotte will be leading the civil rights investigation. Maggie Newland, CBS 17 News.
Introducing the DreamWorks 60-volt ultra-power advantage, our most powerful battery system.
2 Patterson, New Jersey police officers have been stripped of their guns, and tonight they face federal charges. This is a surveillance video that Osama al-Zahidi says shows him being assaulted by undercover officers. 29-year-old Kevin Patino and 28-year-old Kendry Teneo arrested Tuyo. This is in December. Al-Zahidi claims the attack was unprovoked and happened while he was going to work as an Amazon deliveryman. The officers are also accused of filing a false police report, and the charge for that carries a prison sentence of up to 20 years.
Police officers in Patterson, New Jersey have been charged with assaulting a man in December 2020 last year. The Shalaki also making a false report as well relating to the assault. Shalom, give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles for their edification and knowledge. All praise again to Yahweh Bashim Yosha Bashim Rakakadash Kahali Yahweh Bashim Yosha Bashim Rakakadash relating to saying 2 police officers in Patterson relating to assaulting a man December 2020 and making a false report, and relating to the Antonio Brown incident, showing footage before the shooting. That was a local news station 17. Get some scriptures. Matthews 5:25. Agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, unless at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So you agree with thine adversary, man, because the adversary has the power to do certain things that may not be in your interest, man, because he's blessed with the sword, man. And part of that power structure is law enforcement, man. They can do stuff to benefit you or not. They have the power, and the power has been given to them in their hands, man. Job 9:24, the power has been given to the hands of the wicked. So they have that power. Their blessings, the sword, man. And part of the related to law enforcement, they have the power. Like I said, they have the power to be a help into your interest or not, depending pretty much how the individual acts up. And this specifically with Jake, you're seeing a lot of these situations on a daily basis with Jake, man. You know, a lot of it is Jake's choices too, man. So he's responsible too, being in a wrong place in the wrong time, being doing things that's not in his best interest, man. Where he gets involved with law enforcement in the first place. So it's individual responsibility, but ultimately, a man's goings are not of himself. So how can he understand his own way, Shalakia? So he's being directed either way on both sides, left or right, by Yahweh Bashim Yashab, man. Whether it be good, whether it be evil. I want to go to Ecclesiasticus 9, Sirach 9 and 13. You seeing these things happen on a daily basis, man. Specifically with a so-called black and police, man. So-called black man, especially. No other nations are going through this. No, the Japanese, Chinese, they ain't going through these things relating to the black man and law enforcement, man. So it's a reason behind this, man. Deuteronomy 28 specifically, as well. It relating to these curses, man. Ecclesiastes 9 and 13, man. Keep thee far from the man that hath the power to kill. That's the point. Keep thee away from the man who has the power to kill. Part of that sword, as far as his blessing, is that gun. He can shoot you, man, and even and kill you. Keep thee far from the man that hath the power to kill. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come into him, make no false move, make no nothing, man. Because your life could be ended on that momentarily, man. Unless he take away thy life, presently remember that thou goest in the midst of the snare. Snare is the trap. You're in the hostile battleground, man, of these traps, man. So you have to be careful how you move. You have to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, man. That's Matthew 10 and 16. The so-called black man, why is he the one that gets shot up by the police so much, man, than any other race, man? On a daily basis, man. That's the question you need to ask, man. I'll give you the answer. Spiritually, he's under the curses, man. That's the answer. Let's go to and put a balance to it. Like I said, Jake has to take responsibility for himself too, man. He's not guiltless, man. I want to go to Job 4 and 7. Because everything's about balance, man. Job 4:7. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. No one's innocent, man. So if these things have happened, it's for a reason. Because ultimately, in the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, no man is innocent. That's why he's perishing, man. It's a form of judgment, man. We'll read that again. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, and where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow weakness and sow wickedness reap the same, man. So they sow both. They bad. Number 9. By the blast of Yahweh they perish, and the breath of his nostrils they are consumed. So they're pretty much out of here. They're being judged, and they're going to be taken out. But the point is, whoever perished being innocent, man. You know, they're not innocent, man. That's the point. Otherwise, these things wouldn't be happening. That's a spiritual aspect, if it can be understood, and that's overlooked, and it's really not understood. You know what I mean? In the manner that it should be, especially from so-called these Christian churches, man, because they looking at that one side, man. He's so innocent. He's this and that. No, he's not innocent, man. Ezekiel 21. Ezekiel 21 and 10. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished. Furbished is to refresh, revitalize, to pretty much make new. It's something that's old and shabby, man. So it's being reglittered. It's being refreshed for its purpose. Number 10. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? Make light of it? No. It contempteth the rod of my son at every tree. And he had given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. So it's being used, it's going to be refined, refreshed, to be handled for its purpose, man. Pretty much to execute. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. The hand of the slayer is the one who's ultimately going to execute that judgment, man. On the left-hand side, the Lord will use the wicked to execute judgment upon the wicked, for example, of our people, man. So they being sore slaughtered, man. Part of that example that could be used for the 2/3 of our people are law enforcement, man. And for Jake, if he's doing wicked, law enforcement can be that tool. A scourge is a tool for implement for punishment, man. Because everything's relating to balance, relating to understanding judgment, man. So on the left-hand side, the Lord is using, he created spirits made for vengeance, man. As Ecclesiastes believe 39 and 28. So he's created these spirits. He could put a spirit in, for example, man, to execute judgment upon the wicked, because it's judgment and it's his time. What else? And that's the point. I didn't want to make this too long, because you're seeing a lot of these cases happen on a daily basis. A 7-year-old got killed, shot, because really the target was her father, man. where a 7-year-old got shot. One of the elders talking about a riot and protest over like when a so-called black man gets shot by the cops, they make a big uproar. But what about the internal conflicts that happen when inside the certain communities? When, say for example, this one, another black man shoots targeted a so-called black man, but hits, for example, a little girl. Where's the uproar for that? You know what I mean? So it's a double standard. It's hypocrisy, man. We know there's a narrative and there's also an agenda behind it as well. Because in-house is a lot more destruction sometimes than the outhouse, man. And basically what I'm saying is, man, it's not equally addressed, man. Because both are bad. You know what I mean? Both are bad. I ain't mean to ramble on, but these kind of things, you know what I mean? From a spiritual aspect, I understand, but you know, it's people haven't understand yet, man. Especially our people, they don't understand, man. They don't understand. The point is, it's one-sided, man. It's one-sided. I want to get another verse. We'll go to Matthew 27. We'll read I'll just read it. Let me see. Here we go. Governor answered and said unto them, this is number 27:21. Whether of the twine will ye that I release unto you? They said unto Barabbas, which is a thief, a murderer. So they released it to their people, and they, in exchange, they wanted Yahushua to be crucified. Basically, the betrayers were his own people, man. And because they betrayed him, these curses have been set forth. For example, verse which I'm going to read, let the blood be on our children's hand. The children are them in their past life, man. They are those children, and they're back in the spirit of this generation, man. And that's why they're going through, and that's part of the curses. That's why they're catching hell, man. The betrayers of his people, his own people, which are 2/3, so they catching hell, man. And ultimately, the nation is one organization, man. Israel, man, it's like the military. If one falls, they all fall, man. It's a team. That team represents that whole nation, man. So they're all going to be punished, man. Let me finish on. Pilate said unto them, what shall I do then with Hamashiach, Yahushua, which is called Hamashiach? They all say unto him, let him be crucified. So let him be crucified, man. And this is all part of prophecy, because the betrayers of his people, this is all, they playing their role, they playing their lot. They playing their lines related to this movie, man. And the governor said, why, what evil have he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. So they want him crucified. Period, man. They didn't care. They want him crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water, washed his hands clean before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just man, saying, see ye to it, man. And answered all the people and said, his blood will be on us and our children, man, because they are their children, man. They are those children, man. That blood, they got to pay for that. And part of that blood is the curses, man. And that's why that's why it is continuing from each captivity all the way until today. That's why they're going through what they're going through, man. The verse that talks about the Lord, those will see him that pierced him, man. So they're gonna see him because they are the same ones that helped him get pierced. So when he comes back, they're gonna see him and they're gonna mourn, man. Be afraid. Where was that? I was at 26. And he released Barabbas into them, and when he had scourged Yahushai, he delivered him to be crucified. So that's why Israelites are getting jacked up. The reason why I read those because that's why. So that blood is being passed on. You know what I mean? It's continuing on, man. So that's why they're catching it, man. Because all spiritually, it started spiritually first, man. It started spiritually. This was just a few verses. I didn't mean to make this too long, but I had to read a few verses, express this, and this relates to those two videos, one in Patterson, New Jersey, and the other back relating to North Carolina. The water for listen, give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.